Following the heavyweight title bout between Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium in London, England, fight promoters Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn had to defend Saudi Arabia's increasing involvement in combat.
I will take a time just to say I still can't understand the negativity and moans from some people. Riyadh season is a project that takes place in Riyadh. What we saw last week was a culmination of a passion for sport that His Excellency has. A man that listened to the fight fans and went above and beyond to deliver for British fight fans who said they wanted to experience a Riyadh season event. No one could have put on an event like that. I can't believe I'm saying it, but that includes me, that includes Frank, and we all acknowledge that. And what we have seen over the last year has changed the face of the sport.
The Dubois-Joshua fight was part of the Riyadh season, a series backed by the Saudi Arabian General Entertainment Authority under chairmanship of Turki Al-Sheikh, an advisor in the country's royal court.
As Eddie said, as I know, I'm sure Todd will agree, these type of events would not be able to be made without that financial input. And it's because of the love of boxing from His Excellency and the fact that he's chairman of Riyadh season has made that happen. And the fans there, were they disappointed? Did you hear anybody moaning about the event? The only people you hear moaning about it are people who are not included, or maybe had a meeting cancelled when they couldn't, when they were blown out because of the it put their nose out of joint.
For fight sports, the 2023-24 Riyadh season was awesome. It started with the Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou heavyweight boxing clash between the then lineal champ of boxing and the then lineal champ of MMA. Then there was the huge heavyweight extravaganza, Day of Reckoning, which was headlined by Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallin, with Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker in the co-main event. On February 24, 2024, the PFL vs Bellator Champs crossover mega event was held outside the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. Then Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou both made their second appearances, this time against each other in what could have been a title eliminator, to see who fought the winner of the Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk undisputed heavyweight showdown. All were part of the Riyadh season. By anyone's standard, that's an incredible set of events that simply would not have happened without those sizable Saudi investments. It has made combat better for everyone.
It's benefited everybody in this room, particularly and most importantly the fighters, who have had the fights that can define their legacy, have had the fights that can financially secure their future. And as promoters, we're all starting to see what working together can do for the sport.
Riyadh season now means the best fights in the world. That's what it is. If you say Riyadh season, they're the best fights in the world. That's what's been delivered. The fights that the fans want to see. And I just want to add, before going on about it, I just want to add to what Eddie said. Why is there criticism here? I don't get this whatsoever.
Frank and Eddie can't see a problem with Saudi investment, or at least that's what they're saying. In fact, Eddie has spent years saying he doesn't see any downsides to Saudi investment at all. But you know who does? Amnesty International.
Amnesty International has been saying for a long time that Saudi Arabia is in the business of attempting to use high-profile sport to improve its really severely tarnished international reputation. Their human rights record is one of the worst in the world, with them one of the most prolific users of the death penalty, imprisonment and torture of peaceful women human rights activists, and the persecution of minorities of all kind, including LGBT people.
Back in 2022, in the lead-up to the Usyk versus Joshua rematch, the Matchroom Sports CEO was already being asked about the morality of returning time after time to the region.
The first time around, we got quite a lot of criticism. I haven't had any this time, in all honesty. And, of course, my main interest is to ensure that the fighters get the best opportunities. It's a very dangerous sport. Financially, of course, we always want to make sure they make the most money for the risk involved. But again, we see the changes here. I came here 3 years ago. This place is unrecognisable to when I was here previously. So we see sometimes the criticism, sometimes from people that have never been.
Hearn has been copping criticism from people who haven't been to Saudi Arabia, which he thinks is unfair. But you know who has been to Saudi Arabia? Again, Amnesty International.
We also know anyone who's openly gay in Saudi Arabia is at risk of arrest and possible torture. And we know a Yemeni man called Mohammed al-Bukhari. He's currently in jail, being repeatedly tortured into confessing that he's a homosexual after saying gay people have rights.
It's not just boxing that has come under fire in recent times for alleged Saudi sport washing. In golf, the PGA Tour and the Saudi-backed rival Live Golf went to war over this exact same thing. It even went as far as an investigation by the United States Congress and the Justice Department, neither of whom minced their words.
Today's hearing is about much more than the game of golf. It's about how a brutal, repressive regime can buy influence, indeed even take over a cherished American institution to cleanse its public image. It's a regime that has reportedly killed journalists, jailed and tortured dissidents, fostered the war in Yemen, and supported other terrorist activities, including the 9/11 attack on our nation.
As a member of this institution, I find no grounds for government to be involved in the game of golf. But are there legitimate questions? Could we have legitimate hearings? Are there things we should be discussing? Of course. Do the 9/11 victims have a legal obligation owed to them by the Saudi Arabian government? It's a real question. Should we be involved with selling arms to Saudi Arabia? A real question. Should be debated, and we should have votes on these things. Should we be involved in the war in Yemen? Nobody in Congress ever voted to go in war in Yemen. Why the hell are we involved in that war?
What is the amount of the Saudi investment that is going to be made?
That has not been determined yet, Senator.
Has there been any discussion of what that amount will be?
It would be, there's been discussions, it would be a significant amount, north of
What are the amounts that have been discussed?
North of $1 billion.
I watched a lot of the golf press conferences, and people need to stop, you shouldn't be afraid to talk about the financial benefits of coming somewhere in sport, particularly in a sport as dangerous as boxing, right? And boxing's not golf. This can always be your last ever fight. And for me, I want to make sure these guys, and one of the reasons we're here is for the money, of course.
The Saudis are throwing a lot of money at combat right now, and they aren't going to stop anytime soon. Is it good for boxing and MMA? Absolutely. They backed the first undisputed heavyweight title fight in over 20 years. They backed the first undisputed light heavyweight title fight in the history of the four-belt era. And they coaxed the MMA lineal heavyweight champion back into the cage to defend the title he hadn't defended in years. Plus, these are dangerous sports that should reward their competitors with hefty paychecks. But the question is it right? It's the same question Amnesty put to Formula One racing when they also accepted money from Saudi Arabia. But maybe they have the answer.
We know it's not the job of Formula One to change human rights in Saudi Arabia, but if they're willing and able to raise those issues publicly, which is what Amnesty has always been calling for, that could make a huge difference to those individuals who are being persecuted, and that could be one route to change.